Hey people, it's Niall Stokey. This just came out an hour ago, so I'm reporting on it. This is from BBC News. Coronavirus, US pushes direct payment plan as part of $1 trillion stimulus. US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says he supports sending money directly to Americans as part of a $1 trillion, 830 billion British pounds stimulus aimed at averting an economic crisis caused by the coronavirus. We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately. He said the 250 billion, 207 billion pounds in checks are part of a huge aid package which the White House is discussing with Congress. It follows widespread school and shop closures as the number of coronavirus cases in the US approached 6,000. The US has been debating how to provide relief as activity grinds to a halt in response to curfew and other measures intended to slow the spread of the virus. Details such as the size of the checks and who would qualify for them are still under discussion. A $1 trillion aid package, roughly the size of the entire UK budget. This whole country's budget is just one thing that America's got on the table. That's incredible. Would be larger than the US response to the 2008 financial crisis, amounted to nearly a quarter of what the US federal government spent last year. So wait, is the US okay? So the American budget is $4 trillion. In addition to $250 billion in checks for families, the plan includes a bailout for airlines and hotels, among other measures. The proposal must be approved by Congress to move forward. Wall Street rebounded sharply on Tuesday after the plan was announced, though not nearly enough to make up for the previous day's heavy losses. Separate from the $1 trillion package, Mr. Mnuchin says the government would allow companies and individuals to delay their tax payments for 90 days. We are looking forward to having bipartisan support to pass this legislation very quickly, he said. US President Donald Trump initially proposed a payroll tax cut which would reduce the money the government automatically withholds from worker pay to pay for social programs. However, critics said that relief would come too slowly and leave out those without jobs. Several high-profile economists had urged more direct assistance, including $1,000 payments, winning support from lawmakers such as Republican Senator Mitt Romney. Mr. Trump said he had come round to the view that faster, more direct relief is necessary. While with the invisible enemy, we don't want people losing their jobs and not having money to live, Mr. Trump said, adding that he wanted to target the relief to those who needed it. Mr. Mnuchin said he hoped to send the checks within 2 weeks. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to give cash now, and I mean now, in the next 2 weeks. Jason Furman, an economist at the Harvard University who championed the idea, wrote on Twitter said he was thrilled to see it gain traction. Speaking to the BBC earlier, he said direct payments would help, even with so many shops closed for business. It would enable people to not work if that's what they need to do. It will prepare some people for not making their rent payments, said Mr. Furman, who served as a top economic advisor under former President Barack Obama. There are a lot of ways to spend money that don't involve going out. But economist Gabriel Zucman, a professor at the University of California, who advised Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, said the government should prioritize help to businesses if it wants to avoid mass layoffs and company failures. What the US needs is massive support to small businesses to cover wages and maintenance costs during shutdown, he said, adding that lawmakers could opt to do both. The White House push for relief comes as Republicans and Democrats in Congress remain divided about what help is necessary. It follows action by the Federal Reserve to ease financial strains. The banks on Tuesday said it will use emergency powers to purchase up to $1 trillion in short-term corporate debt directly from companies, reinstating a funding facility that was created during the 2008 financial crisis. This is getting bad. It is also offering another $500 billion in overnight loans to banks. It has previously enacted 2 emergency rate cuts and other stimulus measures. U.S. markets rallied about 6% following Tuesday's announcements. Sorry, folks, a bit tired. After steep falls a day earlier, they have been in turmoil for weeks as investors respond to the likelihood that the coronavirus will cause a sharp contraction in the U.S. economy in coming months. So, and if this isn't a smack in the face, I don't know what is. For months, we've heard them say, well, we don't have money for reparations. That's my Bernie Sanders accent. And And they've been saying, well, you weren't slaves, or we can't afford it, or who should get it, or it's going to take, we need a committee, and we need all this. And Elizabeth Warren, her advisor, she was the one who was asked, oh, we need reparations, and then when someone asked, well, check, someone said, well, when are you going to cut the check? Check for what? Like, if I've got my math right, like the 1.5 trillion was put into the economy. There is another 500 billion that was being offered to overnight loans to banks, and $1 trillion that's being offered to directly to people. Anyway, let me. Well, I don't know when to start counting this up in the middle of a video, but obviously it's in the trillions, and all this was created just like with a click of a finger. Well, we need it, we'll get it. But when it comes to reparations for Diwanians, ADOS, FBA, blacks, man, there ain't no money in the economy. I mean, oh well. I mean, we all know this song and dance, but it's just absolutely disgusting to see it played out in real time. Anyway, I'm going to leave this article in the description. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. I'm going to leave my GoFundMe in the description if you want to support that, and I'll leave my Instagram there as well. Peace.